I'm asking you because
How do you feel?
like I'm gonna vomit.
Need to reduce your volume.
Less volume. Okay.
On the
Need
top one, I guess.
silence myself. Better?
Can you mute it too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already on the floor. I might as well just like turn it all the way down.
No, you
Yeah, just all the way down, and then can you put the
Down, more down.
Opposite. Yeah, okay.
and you see the
Better?
blindfolds? Can you put those on as well?
Welcome to Fear of Stairs, Desi Films Decoded, the podcast where four friends from different backgrounds unlock the world of Desi cinema. I'm Winnie, the Desi who's never been to India.
Hi, I'm Khilli. I'm from India and I love films.
I'm Nicky. I like trains.
Hey, I'm Adam. I like trains too. Maybe we could be friends.
Yeah, okay. We're not of age. We're not the same age, but yeah, we can be friends.
You are picking.
As long as it's consensual, we can enjoy trains together.
Today we're doing a 2013 film called Chennai Express, which is an action comedy film starring the ever lovable and charismatic Shah Rukh Khan. So in this one, Shah Rukh Khan plays Rahul, who's a 40-year-old sweet seller and apparently a bachelor, no less. And he lives with his grandparents, and one day they were celebrating his grandfather's 100th year, and I guess he just ups and dies, and now his dying wish is for Rahul to spread his ashes over two locations, one the Ganges River, and the other is Rameswaram, which is a municipality in the Ramanathapuram district of the state of Tamil Nadu.
Good job.
So, however, he wants to go to Goa with his friends, as one would, right? And he travels by train in the titular Chennai Express because his granny wanted to send him off, so he couldn't, just sneak off to Goa. But in doing so, he actually manages to miss getting off on the train platform, because one, he forgot his grandfather's ashes, and two, he was helping this woman and four other dudes on board. And this woman is played by Deepika Padukone. Sorry, guys. Who plays Minama, who's a woman that's fleeing from an arranged marriage to this big man gangster called Tangabali, who's played by Nicky. And her father is Durgesh, played by Satyaraj, who is a mafia kingpin and landlord in Tamil Nadu. So yeah, anyway, Minama takes Rahul to her village as her lover, and Tangabali challenges Rahul to a duel, and what ensues is that, Rahul pretends to be her lover, and then at one point they go on some wacky adventures together, and as most romantic movies tend to be, like buddy comedies, they fall in love. And that's the gist of the story. And if you haven't noticed, we are doing a new format for the podcast.
We're just going to summarize the movie for you, and that's it. It's going to be 5 minutes. Nikki's going to explain what happened, and then that's kind of it. We got enough feedback that no one wants to hear our opinions, so we're just going to tell you what happened and then just quickly sign off.
Well, thank you for tuning in.
Bye-bye.
That'll be it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're playing with some format experimentation, trying to make it a little tighter, maybe a little more structured, a little shorter. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
So this film was directed by Rohit Shetty. Okay, so say this director, when I was checking up, he was actually a stuntman for a very big star from Bollywood, Ajay Devgan. So, and Fool or Kante, the film, I used to love that film when I was a kid, because he was a stuntman for the actor. So later he grew in the industry. He did assistant direction in some other films, and later he worked with he started making films on his own. He became a director, and so his film had this theme of over the top stunts, very fantasy setup sometimes, and then like the cars blowing up and everything. So what he used to do, like if you guys know, Rohit Shetty, he's from Andhra Pradesh. So the film industry from Andhra Pradesh, like the Telugu film industry, is like famous or infamous for their over-the-top actions. Like, you might have heard of like Bahubali sometimes, and then all the films from there are like, all the action films are like have these weird, superfluous actions. So he's from there. So what he started doing is like he started remaking films from that industry, and then he started making these remake films, which kind of became hit at one point, and his style, his choices, that kind of became a thing in Bollywood, right? So in Bollywood, the action sequences and in the chase sequences, there used to have like those kind of thing where the car is blasting off, the people when they're punching someone is like flying off to like 10 meters away and stuff like that.
Like an anime.
Yeah. So this guy kind of made that on your face and made it like fun to like, how do I put it? Kind of tongue in cheek way. So he made the actions in a kind of tongue in cheek way, but it still stayed with the value of the Bollywood. Like, it's serious but not so serious. It's kind of on the twilight zone of serious but not serious kind of thing. So Chennai Express is his first film with, I think, only film with Shah Rukh Khan. So whenever some director is coming up in Bollywood, like making a film with one of the big megastar, like Shah Rukh Khan is megastar, right? He's not just a star. That's a milestone for your career. So I think this was his to make Chennai Express. Yeah. So, and also that was a time when I think goofiness was becoming a mainstream thing in Bollywood. Like when we watched Happy New Year before, like we also got the. I mean, it was not well made, but that goofiness was a part of the theme of the whole film, right? I think this was the era where that was becoming mainstream, well accepted to be like the main theme of the film.
Do people? I was wondering that watching the film. Do people know it's corny, or do they enjoy it being corny? Is it ironic or unironic?
That's also, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I feel like people. I mean, for sure, certain things people know it's corny. Like when you keep on cross-referring the earlier films and like make a joke of that, it's corny. When you are like doing over the top dialogues and like fun, it's corny. But there are certain silliness that is intrinsic to this kind of narrative, like the way they suddenly like it's all masculine thing happening in the film, and then suddenly someone starts talking about women empowerment all of a sudden. It kind of sounds corny to me, but I don't think people actually clock that as corny.
But like, was this movie cool? Is it cool? Or not cool?
I think this movie could push the limits of corny because it's Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah.
I feel like he can get away with a certain level of corniness.
Subjective thing.
Yeah.
Well,
For me, it was never cool.
No, but for other people.
It was a very mixed review, which we'll get into later.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it was like you
I
get
mean,
both
there had
positive
been so
and
many
negative.
people who liked the film. There had been so many
Exactly.
people who didn't like the film.
Very mixed.
I just want to add that the goofiness of it all, it does remind me of Thai comedies.
Yeah,
Right.
it reminded me a
Thai
lot of
comedies,
Thai comedies.
It was, Thai comedy films have this sort of like corny goofiness, like jokes that anyone can find entertaining. Well, I don't really personally, because it's quite lowbrow. It's quite very simple.
Sound effects when
Sound
anyone
effects,
does anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
It's the
that's,
kind of
that's
movie-
Bollywood. That's
Yeah.
like, this film is like.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, it's
like,
very lowbrow. So I was saying, like, this is where the lowbrow dialogues meets the lowbrow visual aesthetics in Bollywood.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, I mean, it was a huge hit. This broke like every single box office record. So in India, it was the fastest at the time. It was the fastest movie to hit 100 crore, which is about like 16 million USD. Hit it in 4 days. It was the biggest opening day in India ever. Highest opening weekend in India. Biggest overseas opening. It was the first Bollywood film to cross 200 crore, which is about 37 million. It was the biggest box office, or like the biggest Indian hit in the UK at the time. It surpassed Three Idiots. It became the biggest. And in the UAE, it was the biggest opening weekend for a Bollywood film ever.
Whoa.
In India, the weekend it opened, it made back its entire budget.
So
its budget,
very successful box office.
incredibly successful. So the budget at the time was around like 16 million USD. It made that back opening weekend.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Massive,
wild.
massive, huge hit.
So despite it being a massive, huge hit, it did receive very mixed reviews from critics. I think there was a general consensus that this movie had a Rohit Shetty trademark stamped all over it. So one review even mentioned that it wasn't about whether it was going to be a hit or not. It was about whether it was going to be a big hit or an enormous hit, because you have Shah Rukh Khan as the lead actor as well. So a lot of mixed reviews. Some of the more positive reviews kind of praised it for having all of the Bollywood elements. Brings like the masala theme where there's big action, there's drama, there's romance. The songs were also quite well received. Other reviews kind of criticized it for being very predictable, very cliche, a bit of a bore. And the one review that really stuck out to me was Times of India, which gave the movie 3.5 out of 5 stars and kind of compared Shah Rukh Khan to Jim Carrey. So that he was trying to like kind of evoke that kind of comedy. But
Interesting.
one thing that a lot of reviewers did agree on was that Deepika really outshined Shah Rukh Khan.
I don't
Right.
know. What do you think? Do you think that?
So I do think that, so this was when she was still kind of an up-and-coming star. I don't think she had established herself as a
Yeah.
lead actress yet. And I think this movie kind of really drilled that in, that she was capable of being a lead actress. She was a lot younger than Shah Rukh Khan as well, but
That was my thing. Like in the movie, she's very pretty and attractive, but she looks so young.
But also, like, I think they kind of put it in the film itself that Shah Rukh Khan is old.
Exactly. There's even
Yeah,
one
that's,
scene,
like,
right,
kind of
where
very
they...
self-aware that here the actor is old. Like, he's like, oh, he never had the experience because he's old. Yeah. Because of his grandfather, but he's old. Yeah. So they kind of made it like, yeah. Deepika was...
Yeah, but so what?
Cracking
I mean,
jokes.
she's still very young in the film.
Actually, there's a review from India Today. It gave the movie 3 out of 5 stars, and it wrote, "The good news first. Chennai Express is a pleasant and likable film in parts. The bad news is it does nothing for Shah Rukh Khan's indomitable star power except to tell us that he can still play a 40-year-old Rahul without faltering."
Yeah.
So I think his age came into question as well. He's nearing 50 when this movie was filmed, right?
Whoa.
And Deepika's in her early 20s. So like some critics also
Yeah.
just kind of talked about how, yeah, it's another Shah Rukh Khan movie. He's trying to prove that he's not aging, but they actually like pick on it in the movie as well when Deepika points out that he's a bit old.
Yeah.
He does come off as a loser in this film. We talked about this.
Yes.
Yeah. Only at the end, like,
he-
he somehow, miraculously can...
He's
fight
whiny
people.
and he's like he acts younger than he should, and if he was really like a 40-year-old as they're portraying, like he'd be the lamest 40-year-old.
He's made like he's like a stunted development individual.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
like an attractive person.
Some reviews also talk about how comedy is not his strongest suit, and it kind of shows in that movie. But because of the effort, like it still kind of goes through because he has that star power.
Shah Rukh's better comedy.
I don't know. We've seen Happy New Year and look how that turned out.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Does
Which
he
one
do
was
comedy?
funnier?
Shah Rukh Khan? Like, well?
He's a good actor. He's a decent actor. So I think it has to be with the director to make a good comedy using him.
I mean, the Jim Carrey comparisons, I mean,
Yeah, that's a stretch.
were
That's
they
a
saying that
reach
he's
for me.
trying to be or that he is?
That he's trying like Jim Carrey kind of comedy, right? Where it's in your face, it's straightforward. It's like kind of what Nicky called Thai comedy. It's just for the gags, right? And so this one review from probably the most critical review, who gave it 1 out of 5 stars, Mayank Shekhar of Dainik Baksar. I don't know if you know this, Khilli.
Dainik
But it's like,
Bhaskar, okay. Yeah.
You've paid for the ticket, yes. Now just sit back and suffer. Shah Rukh Khan yelps and squeaks and shrieks and bares fangs and pouts and, well, exhausts himself overcompensating at every step, despite nobody else in the film following this template.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I find that a little too brutal.
But we had the same sentiment while watching the movie, right? Where we're like, why is he being so whiny? Like, what's going on
He
here?
feels out of place. It does feel like a Thai Looney Tunes film.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Thai. I mean Indian. And feel like an Indian Looney Tunes film.
Right, and you have that comedy that is like kind of caricature almost, right? Which, yeah, I mean, it also adds to the visual appeal of it.
It's referencing a lot of Bollywood films. Like, we already seen that. Like, Bollywood film does that, right? So it's referencing every time his previous films, other people's like famous films and like famous scenes all the time, and making fun of that, but yet kind of trying to keep some grounded story around the thing. So yeah.
But with the Looney Tunes, you have like Bugs Bunny kind of driving the whole thing, being like,
Shah Rukh Khan is Bugs
no,
Bunny.
but he's not. This is my problem. Because he's like winking to the audience. He's being like, hey, I'm a stinker. You know, Bugs Bunny's in control. But in this, Shah Rukh Khan's not in control at any point really in the movie.
Well,
so you're just watching a guy floundering the whole time.
And I
it's
think
not
that's why
fun.
like Deepika is seen to really have shined in this movie, because you can almost see her kind of steering the plot in a way and being the one who puts Shah Rukh Khan's character in check.
Yeah.
So maybe she shines a bit more.
It's true, and it
Right.
makes him look even worse. The 20-year-old is being more emotionally intelligent than this 40-year-old man.
Yeah.
And because this movie was such a big hit in the West, I do want to read a review from New York Times, right? It gained so much traction in the West as well. So Rachel Saltz of the New York Times actually make the effort to review it. I don't know if she's ever watched any other Bollywood movies before, but she wrote, Chennai Express feels like a sumptuous meal with carefully chosen wine and tasty appetizers, but a botched main course. But the movie tugs along for most of its 2 hours and 20 minutes searching for comedy and characters in a frantically overplotted story. Which I think is a bit accurate, right?
I wouldn't say it chugged along. I felt
No.
like I was thoroughly like amused.
Even during the
Slapstick
intermission,
humor.
when the intermission hit, I was like, we could have wrapped it up by now.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt like a second story.
Yeah,
started.
I liked the movie. It was engaging, but it definitely felt stretched out.
And another thing is like, so this is one of the Bollywood films like that's like Bollywood is kind of popular in northern India, right? So it's kind of addressing and involving Chennai, South India, like.
Yes.
So Tamil Nadu has a huge political history of like, you know, fighting against Hindi imposition in India, like which is happening right now as well again. So they don't despise Hindi culture, but like they are like actively politically fighting against like the Hindi imposition in all across India. So this is like, okay, this is the industry is from the heartland of Hindi language, the Bollywood industry, right? It's because it's Hindi films, and then they are like kind of going in Chennai and in its territory, and it treats Tamil the way Hollywood treats India, like you know, like typical those like Indian stuff speak English like do like so and then like with the head bobble and stuff, like that's how like Bollywood portrays Indians, right?
So please break this down for me, because watching this as a foreigner, I did not know what languages anyone was speaking, and I didn't know what
both.
any of the stereotypes
They're
were.
speaking. So the whole gag was that they're speaking Tamil and he's speaking Hindi, and no one understands each other. That's why all the miscommunication happening, right? And that's why they were like doing everything. So why? So okay. When we talk about the plot, I'll go in detail more. But like overall, so Deepika's character is from Chennai, right? But her Tamil is like bad. It's not proper, and when she speaks Hindi or English, she brings in this fake accent that northern Indian people think that Tamils have.
Very stereotypical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, tum ye karenga. Like people don't speak like that, but it's like, yeah, like she brings that aesthetic to on the plate. So that's what keep on happening. Yeah.
She was also criticized for her fake Hindi accent. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
if
But
you
that's
heard.
what I'm saying. Like when
Right.
she's speaking Hindi, she's using those. Oh, that's how Tamils might speak Hindi if they speak Hindi.
Mm-mm.
It's like, yeah, that's the thing I'm saying, like how Hollywood does to like India. Oh, maybe that. So she speaks Hindi properly in real life, like Indian actors in like Indian ethnicity actors in Hollywood speaks English properly in their real life. But when they're asked to do the Indian accent,
yeah.
so this is like she's doing the Tamil accent of Hindi.
Yeah. There was definitely a lot of criticism about the movie,
so
like being
that's
very
one
insensitive to
thing.
South Indian culture.
But to be honest, like stereotyping is a part and parcel in India. It like all the film industry is not only Bollywood, but Bollywood is the big one because that's why people can attack it more. But all other industry also, like, it's not very sensitive towards like.
I mean, look at Happy New Year. North Koreans are kind of like portrayed as like Chinesey little looking people.
I mean, that has zero grasp on reality with that one.
So what were your all? We heard the critics' thoughts. What were your all over thoughts?
So
of
actually,
the
I'm gonna
movie?
go with Adam. I mean, like as a foreigner who's not Indian, it was hard to tell what languages were they saying, what like the dialects or the accents.
But you understood that they don't understand each other, right?
I
Like,
got that a little later, but then usually I had to ask Khilli, like, oh, so are they not speaking the same language?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
for me, I couldn't pick that up.
It's a
until
weird
much
movie
later.
to be an international hit because it depends on you knowing these
The
cultural
context,
differences.
right.
And for us, it's all English subtitles. I have no idea that they're speaking different languages. So, like, that's a big part of the movie that's missing for me. Is Tamil and Hindi similar?
No. They're totally completely different.
They don't
language
share
group.
words or anything?
Yeah, there are similar vocabularies, but it would sound so different that you wouldn't able to pick up. Like they said that those words, like might have some sort, but in language group they fall totally under different language group. Like one is Indo-European language group and one is Dravidian language group, which is like
Yeah,
different language group.
like Khilli just told me Dada means
No, that's
brother.
in my language.
That's
but
Bengali. That's not Tamil. It's okay.
Were Tamil people angry about this film? Was there any anger or racism?
They never give a flying fuck about the film much.
Yeah.
Because they don't watch, like most of the Tamils, they don't watch Bollywood film that well. So they are not like,
But
okay.
it's still a huge hit.
No, I mean, so whenever I spoke to most of my friends, they were like, "Oh, I never watched it," and also people who watched it, they're like, "Okay, it's fine. I mean, it's not portraying us properly. Bollywood does that all the time."
Times of
they
India
kinda shrugged
actually
it off.
criticized. They said the movie had too much Tamil for it to be qualified as a Bollywood film, which makes it very difficult for Indians to watch it without subtitles. Like subtitles is a must, no matter where
That's
you're from
true.
in India, right?
That's true.
And
But there
that's
is one point. Like, so I was always thinking that okay, he doesn't speak English because he's like a sweet seller. He might not know English, but towards the end of the film, he speaks in proper English, like few sentences with the proper accent. I'm like, okay, like that could have solved the whole plot. Like if you were just speaking English in Tamil or like because like most of the people are like looks like they would understand English. Like at least the father of the father of Deepika would understand English.
But I'm glad that this movie was such a big hit internationally because I think like people outside of India tend to think India is just this one country, same ethnic, same culture, same language, everything. But there's over 100 different languages, probably even more, right? It's such a diverse land.
23 official languages.
Right. So I think this movie at least might help raise awareness on this thing of like, yes, we can be from India, but if you're from the north or south, there's already such a big cultural barrier, a language barrier, all these things.
I just think that maybe it might have helped if the subtitles did specify which language they were talking about.
Yeah, for
that
like
would
the
have helped a
non.
lot.
Yeah.
For
I agree.
sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing we have Khilli to always be the one like providing us context in these movies, else we'd be lost.
I thought the movie was okay. I thought Shah Rukh Khan was very weak in this. Like, I thought he was not a leading man in this. Like, look, even if Jim Carrey's in a comedy, he still has, like, a leading man quality. And Shah Rukh Khan's, like, has that capability, but he just is so bumbling and weak and annoying in this that, like, I just didn't really care or understand why Deepika was into him at all.
It is very
I couldn't
difficult.
follow it.
It's very difficult to think this is the same man that played Jawan, right?
Yes.
We're so used to watching Shah Rukh Khan play like this superhero, unbreakable kind of role. So it was nice to see him being a little wuss.
Or like charismatic or funny, or he's like super powerful. But this one, he's like out of his element the entire time. He always makes the wrong decision.
And he's kind of a selfish asshole.
He's a horrible person. He's not nice.
Yeah.
He like lies to his grandma. He like
Ditched his friend.
he promises he's gonna fling his grandpa's ashes somewhere, but all he wants to do is go south with his two buddies and like party.
Oh, he wants to go to Goa, right? That's the thing. So actually, with that, let's get right to the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing I wanted to mention was that, the movie apparently seems to pay tribute to a lot of like old movies.
Yeah.
So like the one scene that, both Winnie and Khilli were pointing out was that there was a train scene, which was like a spoof of this film, DDLJ. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge.
That's it. It starred like Shah Rukh Khan and Kajol in that one.
Yeah.
And apparently this is an iconic scene.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen it.
Okay, so in the final scene, it's like when the it's a rom-com drama, like when at the end the hero and the heroine gets together. That's the scene where like the Shah Rukh Khan is already leaving the town on the train, and Kajol runs after him. So the train has already started. So Shah Rukh Khan lends the hand and grabs her to the train. So that's the final scene where the hero and heroine meets. With each other.
Very
So
iconic.
That's a
in
very
Bollywood.
iconic scene. So they do that with Deepika, and then they
Three other men.
He even does the joke like, "Oh, I have done this many times."
I'll admit it was
before."
kind of funny when Keely explained it as it was happening.
Yeah, that was a really funny
I didn't think
one.
it was kind of funny.
And it was the
Yeah.
same theme song.
Again,
Yeah.
if you reference a better film, I would just be thinking about Kajol the whole time and how much I wish it was Kajol
Yeah,
in this film.
Adam and Nicky are both big fans of Kajol.
Kajol's
I want Kajol inserted into any movie. Just replace Deepika. It's okay.
Ouch.
No, Deepika.
I love Deepika too.
Deepika is definitely one of the hottest now. Yeah.
So
She's
yeah,
very, very
the
pretty.
comedy, like let's touch upon the comedy first because I think that's very important. So yeah, we had the train scene in the beginning where Shah Rukh Khan, missed the platform, but because he had to help, the Deepika and those men, and then like you have this like extended scene where he's kind of like confronting these men about what's happening, and like you have this whole drawn out comedy scene where he wants to like complain to them, but these men were like seen as dangerous, and then you see like Shah Rukh Khan going back to being a wuss, and like there's a lot of comedic elements like where he like moves into like the upper bunk of the train or something, and then like he makes a lot of like whiny noises like what Adam said.
He's scared the whole time of everything.
But
Yeah.
like comically scared.
I can imagine that maybe it would be funny if I really understood what he's saying, but to me it just kind of felt like
Was
he
it
just-
cool though? This is why I keep asking if it's cool. Like he's not cool in this.
No, he's not cool, but he's being him being a scared man is kind of.
Is it
fun to
funny?
watch. Yeah, I mean, it's
Okay.
like,
Was
okay.
it funny that
So
they
because I kind of liked it because in Hollywood, in Bollywood films, like we always expect the hero to like always fight the bad guys right from the beginning of the film. And, sorry, right off the bat. Okay. Okay, and be like very assertive and stuff like that. But here, he was kind of trying to portray that he's very assertive and very ballsy guy to stand up to them, but in reality, he's not. And that was coming out as a comedy, so I kind of like that.
And briefly, what is his job? Nicky at the start said he was a sweet seller, and he's referenced like that throughout as like a demeaning, kind of pejorative, like you're like
They keep
Halwale.
halwai.
But he seems very well off.
I had to
Okay,
I had to
okay,
look it
they
up.
can
It was
be-
a
they
middle
can-
class thing. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's like
Yeah, I
But
think it's
it is-
similar to like those what film were we watching like where the middle class people were like look very rich.
The last movie we watched.
Oh,
The
yeah,
Nadanian.
yeah.
Nadanian, yeah.
So So it's the same thing, right?
But he's
Like,
supposed to be like a street
Well,
seller?
when you say halwai, you would imagine somebody who literally stands in the street with a little
Right.
stall and
Yeah,
sells. But he has a
that's
proper
what I
shop.
thought.
That's shown in the beginning. He has like a shop that I think is passed on from his family,
Yeah,
right?
so-
So it's not like street seller. He's a bakery owner, you can say.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he has a proper shop, but I think halwai is used to be like, you know, those kind of comic relief actors in like older drama kind of stuff. So that's why I think the angle of the character, like, so when you associate the halwai, like the sweet seller, to a man, you cannot imagine that character to be a masochistic,
Yeah, yeah.
like a alpha male kind
Yeah.
of dude. So you kind of associate like a comedy, like a funny guy, like, you know, like who can be butt of the joke.
Right.
Sure.
And that's what he's trying to portray in the movie.
So that's what. So associating halwai, I think, is kind of bring that aspect to his character, that okay, he's not like a macho man, he's like a sweet seller, like, you know.
Because he doesn't stop bragging
Derogative
about his
way.
35,000 rupee Nokia
Yeah.
phone.
Well, actually, we should talk about that because in the beginning of the movie, there were like
Product
probably
placement.
almost a minute of sponsors and
Yeah.
sponsors,
Yeah.
right? And like throughout the movie, we were just talking about all the ads that popped up. Nokia being one of them, Pepsi another one.
TV,
There's so many.
Videocon TV.
The Videocon
Yeah.
TV. Yeah, that was a
Half
lot
of it's a
that.
commercial.
Yeah. But the way he like talks about the phone, my God, man, it is like the most commercial
Even the
laden.
phone had such a nice product shot, like when it's thrown. Okay, Nikki, like, let's go.
Yeah,
get
what
it.
happened to this
Like,
phone?
Yeah, like it was during the comedy scene, like the whole train banter between him and the captors. Basically, he like took out this phone, and we get this shot. Like it was a
Yeah.
commercial. It's like something out of a commercial.
Yeah,
and he
This
like
is so funny because okay, movies take years to make, and then they come out, right? And phones get released every year. So the amount of money they spend to advertise this one model of Nokia cell phone, and they probably went bankrupt the next year because like Nokia was like going down the drain. Like how many people do they think would buy that phone model based off? Because, like, you see movies, we're seeing it now, like, 20 years later, 10 years later, but, like, I just don't think advertising a phone is smart. Because that has, like, a year
I think
of shelf life.
It's like associating your brand name with a huge hit film is also a thing, because I.
But it's for the model. He was advertising that specific Lumia model. The Windows OS
I used to
Nokia
love
Lumia
Nokia
model.
phone. I was a fan of Nokia phone. It was really
I
good.
think everyone was at one point.
No, Nokia, even Lumia. I was a big fan.
I
of
just
Lumia
miss
phone.
Snake. I miss playing the Snake game on Nokia, right? There's so many Snake games on like the App Store for iPhones, but
This
it's not
was
the
like
same.
a golden era of Nokia.
Yeah.
I even like the diminishing period, like when they made the smartphone Lumia.
I just
also
like being able to like
Lumia,
throw it against the
Windows
wall
Phone.
and nothing happens because it's indestructible.
And the battery lasts for a week.
Right.
I think that's what they were kind of shown in the. I was expecting that kind of product ad in the phone.
But
in
then
the
the-
story.
Sorry, I
that,
have to play Snake for a second.
It's on the like railway station, and their friends are like calling for like a week, and it's still running on battery or something. Like that. I was expecting that kind of an ad, but I think no.
That would have been
bad.
smarter, but
That would've
instead the South Indian gang just threw it out the train and
Yeah.
R.I.P. Nokia.
Yeah, and then they also threw out that man, the train ticket guy.
Ticket
I
checker.
don't know if that was funny. I don't know if you guys.
Well, obviously I find it funny. So.
Yeah, they did just toss him in the river.
I just tossed him to show him whose business, I guess.
I think that's the reason why they captured Shah Rukh Khan as well, because he's the weakness of what they did to the ticket checker guy.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the main plot point, that why they carried Shah Rukh Khan back to their village.
Basically, the train guy met the same fate as the Nokia. They both got thrown out the train.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I was looking at pictures of behind the scenes footage, and the Shah Rukh Khan on the train part is all on green screen.
There you
Yes.
go.
But
So
like even
that's it.
outside the train, he's like, you know,
Yes.
grabbing her hand and stuff. And my friend asked like, why don't they just film in a real train station? And you said because he's like too big of a star or something.
I think it should be like almost a very huge production to like
Yeah.
pull off with him in a
It-
actual train station.
It would have to
because-
be hired actors. It would not. They would not be able to pull it off with commoners. I don't
Right,
think.
and also I
it would
think
have
like,
to be a whole set.
because like the logistics of carrying such a big star to execute the shoot in a railway station, because in railway station you have to block a busy railway station to pull it off.
Yeah.
But people have done that before.
It's such a missed opportunity though, because Chaya 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 was also Shah Rukh Khan on
Chennai
a
was
train.
an actual real train on top of a real train.
And so they
But
should
that
have done
was-
this with the movie. They made all these references to past movies,
I'm
and
really
they
glad.
missed out
I'm
on
really,
that one.
I'm really glad that they didn't refer to that, because that's
Yeah.
really, I love that song and then that film.
Yeah, in the 90s, there was another big
Not
hit.
in the 90s, it was
What
in
is
2000.
it? 2000s. Okay, big hit with Shah Rukh Khan on the train and a famous song Chaya Chaya Chaya.
How did they not
Chaya.
reference that then?
That's the thing, right? They referenced DDLJ.
Because he
I
was
think
on the top of the train.
Right.
But on these trains, he cannot go on the top.
Oh,
Maybe he could go on the top bunk and do that song
with the urn, with his grandfather's ashes. So how did the journey to his grandfather's ashes?
Another thing I
Follow.
still need to point out is like the thing that we mentioned earlier is that the use of different languages, right? That is also part of the comedy.
Yeah.
Very
right?
big. The song
So
part.
when Shah Rukh Khan meets like Deepika, they're like singing all these songs, and I later found out they're actually parodies of well-known songs.
So
Yeah.
what they were
Never would
doing...
have picked that.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I would not have
Okay,
picked that
no,
up.
so what they were doing is like they were singing so that the people, like her captors or her father's goon think that they are just singing songs, but what they were doing is like they were putting on the message in the song in Hindi so that like they can communicate about what to do about the situation, and while the other Tamil guys, the goons thinks that they are just singing songs. So that's what they did. To be honest, the funny thing, like one of my friend, like Russian friend, Nastia, like she was saying that one of her friends from Indian film industry, like they were saying that okay, they used to do that kind of thing in Bollywood film during British period. Like they would put a lot of messages, like cryptic messages and stuff in songs. And she was asking me like, do you know about this? I was like, no, I don't know. She couldn't explain me properly, but she was asking me that. And then I just remember, and then Rohit Shetty uses that thing in the film. I don't know if they are connected or they're just by chance.
No, I highly doubt it. It's just a funny bit.
Yeah, but I think like that's what they were doing. Like they were just trying to sing songs, so that's why they were using like popular songs, so that like the people think like,
Yeah.
oh, they're just singing the songs.
We just didn't know it was popular songs.
Yeah,
I thought they were making them up as they went along.
No,
No,
it was
they
the
were
same.
always singing
Yeah.
like popular
Oh.
songs, and many a times the songs from their own films. Yeah.
So yeah, that was another thing that I guess would have flew over our heads as international viewers. But
I also didn't know it took place in India. It would have been nice if someone told me.
I mean, it's called Chennai
I didn't-
Express.
Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know what
Could
those
be the
words
name of
mean.
something of his mom or something. I don't know. Okay, so another thing that Adam mentioned that I think deserves like a mention is that there is a lot of moments that you can tell is green screened. They're like when they're traveling in a car, when they're like Adam said, when they're on the train, and there's also a lot of use of transitions.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing that I noticed a lot that I just felt the need to mention it now. And then, like remember in the opening shot where there's like a CGI mansion and then like it zooms in around to
Oh
this
yeah, I was
family.
getting nauseated.
Yeah,
It feels
there's
like the
that.
guy watched Fight Club and he just wanted to be David Fincher and do all these one shots with CG and stuff.
There were actual scenes where it just looked like the whole scenery was animation.
It
Yeah,
was.
Like
It
full
looked
on
like it was just all
animation.
CG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen that aesthetic in this guy's film a lot.
Rohit
Like
Shetty.
where he kind of tries to make like a very cartoony feel to the land. He's like the set. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes it's just a mishmash of like being realistic and like those animation like back like side by side doesn't match together. So what do you guys feel in this film? Like was that aesthetic was like
I feel like
going
Bollywood
along,
just
or-
goes to extreme. You have movies where they're flying to Switzerland, New Zealand, just to like take videos for one songs,
Yeah.
and then you have full-on movies where they're just using CGI to make it look animated. I don't know why there can't be a middle ground.
It's really funny
That's
that
where
they're
I'm
like,
at.
this is a train in India. We need to green screen
Yeah,
this.
right?
But the other movie's like, we're going to fly to New Zealand for this one shot at the park.
Yeah.
Wow. I love the spot where they stop the train to get down, because there was no station where her village
the
is,
waterfall.
right? The waterfall.
Yeah.
That was a really nice
Oh, actually,
spot.
that's a pretty
That's
big
and
scene,
I don't
right?
think that's
'Cause
a
it-
green screen. I think that's a real place and real shot.
Yeah. So what happens at the waterfall?
The waterfall. So like because as Shah Rukh Khan misses his stop, he decides to tag along with Deepika and the 4 henchmen, and they stop by this spot where they're like they meet the girl's father, and he's like this mafia kingpin kind of guy. And she tells him, Deepika's character tells him that this is her new lover. She was just, escaping the forced marriage to get with Shah Rukh Khan. And again, this is what ensues, is that the whole comedy bit is that like Shah Rukh Khan does not have a good understanding of the Tamil language. So he gets into a lot of like misunderstandings, like the guy that he has to duel with, like he agrees to a duel with the soon to be husband, right? And then there's also like, while that was happening, right? Like Shah Rukh Khan needs to concoct like an escape plan, and I think one of the scenes that gave me a good laugh is like the one where he writes the note, meet me at the storeroom.
Yeah.
That was a good gag.
That was a good gag, because like you get this whole misunderstanding between characters picking up the notes, and it's done in a very like smooth comedic way that I'll admit that was pretty nice.
Explain the gag. Explain, it's funny.
It's like he writes "meet me in the storeroom," but then like Shah Rukh Khan tries to throw the note to Deepika, but then it lands somewhere else. For like some other woman picks it up, and then when she picks it up and reads the note, like she just looks up and sees that whatever person she sees, she thinks that that's the guy that threw the note. So like for this girl with the glasses, this case, she was looking at one of the henchmen, and then like you get this like comedic moment where she looks at him like lovingly, and he looks back, and they think she believes that he sent her the note, but then like. I think someone bumps into her or something, or she throws away the note.
They keep they keep reading it and then like winking at the person, and then they themselves crumple it up and toss it for some reason, and then someone else picks it up and thinks it's for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Adam was saying, like, it would be so funny if they all ended up in the storeroom, and they actually did.
So it paid off. We thought they were gonna just leave it, but they all show up in the storeroom for a big suck and fuck orgy that I wasn't expecting.
But it was so funny. They ended up there, and then they realized it was a misunderstanding, and then they just leave. Like, there was no consequence to that. It was just all done.
Because it happens all the time in that village. Everyone always meets up in the storeroom for the weekly orgy.
Yeah, there's that. But yeah, then he back to the plot. Like Shah Rukh Khan agrees to duel, right? But then like, in order to prove that he's like the future husband, like I think he engages in a lot of drinking the night before the duel. Where
every Shah Rukh Khan movie has a fake drunk scene.
Yeah,
Dave does.
Yeah, that's true.
No, and Happy New Year. And every single thing we've seen, there's always a really over the top fake drunk scene.
I think he's just before the fight they bring some woman to dance.
Yeah, there was like
which is not at all common. I haven't seen that kind of dance in Tamil reference at all.
First, I thought it was Deepika. It took me a while to realize it's not her.
This is very common, like in Hindi films that they depict that they call it item number. Like where like a sexy woman like dances and
that is true.
Amongst the men and stuff like that. It keeps on happening.
Well, it's the woman's fault that the guy is looking.
But like in this here, like he's just doing it, and I think Shah Rukh Khan gets drunk because at that point he's not still in love with Deepika. He just gets horny about that woman, I guess.
Yeah, he gets very drunk and horny because this girl's
Wait,
dancing.
I don't think there was any chemistry between them. I feel like it was just a filler scene, right? He's just drinking because he has a a fight with the to-be husband of Deepika.
He was supposed to run away with Deepika, not fight. That's
Yeah,
what the
that
point.
came
That
a
was
little
their
later.
plan.
Oh,
But
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not
He was
gonna-
just having fun. Shah Rukh Khan likes to dance. Let the man
yeah,
dance.
and he started drinking and dancing and
Let the
totally
man
forgetting
dance.
about the
Right.
plan they chalked out, and then.
I mean, it
yeah.
kind of adds up to all his like character traits, right? He's just dumb, not strategic.
Yeah,
Like, it
he
doesn't-
keeps getting into situations that he causes. He causes all these problems for himself because he's stupid.
And then he blames Deepika for it.
Yeah.
And then like runs back to her.
And then she likes him. This is my issue. Is she's like, I want to marry you, even though like you make life bad for me
I think she
and
Life
you.
sucks.
She
Same
wants
here.
him to make him into a better person. Baby.
So it's up to the 20-year-old to make the older man a better person.
I can
Who
fix
would
it.
think that?
What
That's
are you
I can fix it.
Who's 20 here? What are you referencing
I'm not
to,
referencing
Adam?
anything I know. I'm just saying, is that a normal thing? I don't know. Can that happen?
What a sleep, huh?
Totally a slip, huh?
So yeah, he gets so like right. Khilli said that like he was supposed to run away with Deepika, right? But the night before, he gets super drunk with this woman dancer
Yeah.
that we all thought was Deepika, but apparently it's some cameo that I didn't catch her name. I don't know if you know. Khilli.
No, it's
But like,
not
what do you
famous or
guys think
something.
about that song? That song. Well, you said it was a hit, right? Do you remember the song?
I think it was kind of
Yeah.
more or less the songs of this film.
What was
were
the song
kinda-
name?
Is that Lungi Dance?
No, Lungidas was the title track at the end.
Do you remember the song?
No, but when I listened to it, I remember 1, 2, 3, 4, get on the dance floor.
Yeah, that's it, that's the one.
1, 2, 3, 4, get on the dance floor.
Yeah, that song used to irritate me a
Yeah.
lot when I was around that around those years, because they used to play that song like in loud volume everywhere, and I used to get
Yeah.
super pissed.
Big wedding song too.
So yeah, he gets fake drunk and he like and makes an ass of himself in front of everybody, as one would.
Wow, every single scene.
Every single scene, and then like, he runs. You get like this chase scene where he like runs off a motorbike and like doing all these crazy stunts out of the blue, which was kind of funny. But he meets he enlists the help of this Punjabi guy.
Yeah, so he runs away with like showing massive like motorbike skills, and then he just falls upside at the side of the
Yeah,
street.
that was weird.
After a while, like he just crashes.
Yeah, so in this movie, Shah Rukh Khan has moments of like goofiness, and then he'll be like a badass for like 4 to 5 minutes. And
Whenever
then-
he's on wheels, like every time he's on a bike or in a car, he actually turns into a badass.
and also the final fight
but-
scene.
Yeah, but on feet, he's. Oh yeah, that's
The
true.
final fight scene becomes a heroic superhero, like action star. where
Jawan is
which
born.
we call Jawan origin story.
You're right. He is like Fast and Furious. Like it's only in a car that he can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
his Punjabi. Police
Yeah,
friend-
actually, who introduces himself by saying "bale bale."
Which, according to Winnie, is like a very like stereotypical thing for a Punjabi man.
So that's
to
what
say.
this film does. It stereotypes every
Yeah,
other
actually.
other ethnicity in India. Like so it like stereotypes the Punjabis, it stereotypes
Yeah.
the Tamils. Like it's
Ballet is a type of dance that Punjabis do, but
Yeah.
I can assure you,
I'm
I don't
just
think most
mixed.
Punjabis are going around saying, "Hi, my name is Sing Sing whatever, Ballet Ballet." Like that's not part of the normal introduction
just
for
like-
Punjabis.
it's just the weirdest thing.
It's like when Michael Jackson did that doesn't matter if you're black and white, and it's just a whole music video of stereotypes that are really offensive on the screen.
Right.
Like anytime someone tries to be like culturally accepting, they tend to be the most offensive. So this is like it's a small world in India.
But then, like, the Punjabi guy helps Shah Rukh Khan into, like, a boat or something. And then he
Yeah.
ends up in international waters.
Sri
Get
Lanka
that
smuggling.
Sri Lankan,
Yeah,
and then, like,
that's right.
the Sri Lankan army, like, arrests him and
I
didn't
think
believe-
it was
I'm the
Indian,
captain
Indian
now.
Army. Indian
Indian
it's a
Army.
Ah, yeah,
He
something
was
about
trying to
that.
prove he's Indian,
He's
not Sri
Indian,
Lankan.
not Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that another stereotype?
They were Sri Lankan smugglers, so
Pirates,
I guess so.
right? They were
yeah.
like pirates or something.
Yeah.
They were not. It was not explicit whether they were Sri Lankans or Indians. They were just saying that they were going to Sri Lanka to
Smuggle
buy diesel,
oil. Yeah.
and like diesel, fuel, and then come back to India to sell it, because like maybe it was cheaper in Sri Lanka. So that's what they're smuggling.
Mm.
So and Shah Rukh Khan tries to prove when confronted with the police that like he's not part of them. he's an Indian, like a patriotic Indian and stuff like that.
Yeah, he starts doing weird racist stereotypes in
Yeah.
front of the police. See, I'm not like that. I'm like this.
Yeah.
I don't have
And the
squinty
police is
eyes. I'm
like-
not dark
police is
skinned.
like,
Look at my white
"Fuck."
Indian skin.
So this is like bugger off.
Sorry. There was a scene where they like stopped by at like this really green foresty area,
Yeah.
and then they lose the car, right? Like the car in the lake. You remember that? And then
Yeah.
And another car explodes during this time.
there was also the action scenes are so.
They had to have a
top.
car explosion for the trailer, so it had to occur in the
this-
movie, but there's no reason for it. They're
This
like
guy
just driving
loves
down a
car
muddy road.
explosions, yeah.
So you get this weird scene where they, Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika are arguing, and then like they go their separate ways for a while. And I'm gonna mention this next scene where it kind of stuck out like a sore thumb, but I'm gonna try my best to imitate it. But like he meets a certain character, and he goes something like
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that.
don't
Like, what's
understand
up with that? Who's that dwarf character? What is the point of that? I don't understand. It just raises so many
never
questions.
understood
It was
the
like
point
a
of the
Munchkin
scene.
Land thing.
That character. Have you guys watched Harold and Kumar? The kid in the basement.
Yeah, was that a reference?
No, he just
The
reminded
last
me
scene?
of that kid in the basement who's the product of an incest couple.
Holy lord.
I just think it's so-
But like, what?
No, guy
Well, it was like, look
in a
how
forest.
genetically fucked up these southern townspeople are, but we can still be friends with them.
And then they
It's
just
kinda-
go live in a forest.
It's kind of like giving me weird vibes.
Look at
with
these,
the whole
look
thing,
at
but-
these, like,
Yeah, I thought it's like
Spirited away forest
God
creature.
In disguise.
Yeah.
I thought it's like God in disguise time. Like later,
It's a cheap-
later it will come into play. Like the character will come
Nothing.
save or something. Nothing
Nothing.
happens. It's
Nothing.
just like
It's a
shoehorned
cheap
in.
laugh. Cheap laugh
like
attempt.
super
That's
cheap
all.
laugh.
Yeah.
And then like Shah Rukh Khan just goes back to the spot where he's separated with Deepika, and then they continue their adventure together.
So he
like-
meets this truck driver who says like, "Oh, the whole
Oh, yeah,
so
there's
whole
that.
southern India is like looking for you
Mm.
because
Right.
of this one thing he did in this village." And then that's why he's like he goes back to Deepika and he's like, "Okay, only you can help me." Yeah.
Yeah. So after like accusing of Deepika for being the source of his problems so many times, saying
Yeah.
that anytime she's involved, it makes his life a whole disaster, he still keeps going back to her
Yeah.
over and over again, and she keeps taking him back over and over again.
yeah,
willingly.
willingly.
Mhm.
So then they walk together and they stumble upon this village where I don't know who are those people, but Deepika manages to tell them that they're a married couple, and that's where they laid low for the time
Yeah.
being. And then you get like, I guess we all have this iconic scene. We were all talking about it. It's where they were like to prove that he can take care of Deepika for all of their lives. Like Shah Rukh Khan has to like go to this shrine that has like 300, like it's like a long flights of stairs. It's like 300 steps,
Yeah.
and he has to like carry her up there to prove prove their love or something.
And Deepika
It's supposed to be a normal ritual, she says, where like this is what the town does. All the guys carry a woman up like 300 stairs.
Deepika getting like absolutely bonkers horny while while Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, that's a scene where like you can see she visibly falls in love with him.
She gets horny, I guess. It's all the pheromones of his sweat and stuff.
He puts the thing on her forehead.
The
pre-
tika,
That's
the
the
tika.
sindoor, the vermilion. That's like that's at the top. That's which like a sign of
Marriage.
like a marriage.
Yeah. She's in love or
Okay.
lust.
Yeah, I think both.
All
at that
favor
point.
and horniness. Okay.
A gender divide. How surprising.
Yeah, you have to go there, Winnie.
No, Winnie's right. She learned a lot about his personality during the flight of stairs walk.
All right. Well, apparently there were no fear of stairs in this
Oh, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
300
Ooh, nobody
stairs.
died of that. Hell yeah. He could have dropped her.
She said it. She said the thing. Okay. So anyway, the Deepika's family manages to catch up to them to this village. I don't know how.
It's also worth mentioning that he had the ability to like go anywhere else, right? They were gonna go to Mumbai or other places, but like
No, he's like-
she falls asleep and he intentionally drives them back to the village
Yeah,
just to
because
get her family's approval.
Yeah, the point is like, he's like, okay, how long you gonna run away from your father? Let's
Right.
face it, and then
Yeah.
let's do let's do the right thing.
So you can
And
see
then-
character development here a little
Yeah,
bit,
he
right?
has an arc. He
Yeah.
can starts confronting things. It's just he's like 40.
50 actually.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, like I don't know, man. Like, congrats that you learned it now, but I don't know.
So after that, it's still like,
Fight
okay,
scene.
there's a fight and the father is like
Impressed.
holding Deepika's hand all the time that she cannot go and save the guy. And Nikki, talk about the duel that finally happens with the Thangabali, the big guy.
Yeah, so it's like it's not just I guess it's like, it's a glorified like fight scene, right? But
Yeah.
it's like the whole fight scene is meant to like show that, Shah Rukh Khan would do anything to prove his love for her. And it was like the speech that Khilli mentioned, it was more like, you never listen to your daughter or whatever, and then like,
Yeah.
he's defending her honor, that's basically. And it's like it's all of this is just basically, it's your typical romance film,
The
where-
funniest thing is like he says all these things and at the end like, okay, how to prove your worth is like fighting other men.
It was like a very
Fist
macho
fight.
thing.
Like
It was
you
a very
have to be
masculine
masculine, macho to win over the girl, but like at the end, that's the thing.
We
But
address
in
a-
between, you address so many like
Yeah.
patriarchal issues and stuff like that, and go back to the square one.
He says like, you need to listen to your daughter, and she needs to be free. Now I'm gonna fight this guy, and whoever wins gets to fuck her.
Actually, you
She
guys
has
are
no
so
say.
right. I didn't see it in this way at all. It's so paradoxical when you put it like that.
Yeah, wait,
They don't ask her anything. He's talking to the dad about her and
Right.
saying how the dad should treat her.
He doesn't even ask her about bringing her back to the village, which
No.
she didn't want to do at all. So yeah,
He surprises her. She's like, "This is what we're doing. I need to ask your dad, and then I gotta fight this guy to take you."
It's
this
like
is
address
the right
page-
way.
Address
You're a
patriarchy
woman,
only
you
when
don't-
it can get the man's respect. So you're still giving into patriarchy
Yeah, it
in
kind of
the
threw
end.
me off when like he kind of like the father just goes up to Shah Rukh Khan and is like, "You win. You are a real man."
While he's
Yeah.
bloody and
it's
completely tattered because he was just in a massive fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only way. Like it's like, oh no, you love my girl, you can have her. Like no, not that. Like oh, you are a fighter. You could beat that stupid huge guy.
Yeah, the huge guy didn't even like put up a fight or anything. He's just like, "I respect you."
Oh, then everyone
you
started.
have a big heart, you know.
Everyone went to like suck his dick. What?
It's like everyone is suck Shah Rukh Khan's dick because he knows how.
They all like stood up to take turns on and express how much they wanted to suck his dick at the end of the fight because he's such a cool big man.
Guys, this is what it's like watching a movie with these guys. Shah Rukh Khan reigns victorious, and all they can talk about is everyone wanting to suck his
It's like,
dick.
"Ooh."
The dad is like, "Excuse me, sir, you can fuck my daughter, but can I suck your dick first?
Yes.
Only a true man can do this."
So the movie ends with a
God.
bukkake.
On the dad.
It's called the Chennai Express. You ever heard of it?
It's when they run train on the dad.
And we see Shah Rukh Khan with Deepika again in Jawan, right?
Yeah, so there is our theory, right?
Right.
That this is like Jawan's older Shah Rukh Khan. So
This is the first Indian
he
movie that
might
has
be-
the same actors in different movies. It's
no,
crazy.
because they might be. Because how do you think a sweet seller can fight that well? He was always hiding his secret agent
Yeah.
identity.
No,
This
you're
is
right.
the
And in the whole
upcoming-
Always
movie,
a secret agent, and then he was like, I mean, yeah, okay. His front is a sweet seller. I mean, his grandpa was actually a top boss in the secret Indian secret agency, and then that's why like yeah. So it's a family thing, and then he can fight off the big guys so well, and then he starts a family with Deepika, and then everything happens like where his son becomes the superhero in Jawan.
Yeah. Jawan is a sequel for this movie, according to Khilli's terms.
it's airtight, and the whole time in the whole movie, he keeps whispering "vote harder" to everyone he talks to. So it makes sense.
Well, I'm actually surprised this movie did well in the way it did, like breaking box office records and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I
I have no idea.
I was thoroughly entertained, but I did think that the movie was just mid.
This film was which year did it come out?
2013.
2013. Yeah, I was of the age when I was like obnoxiously like watching only good films.
Contrarian.
Like,
You mean
yeah.
I don't think you've grown out of that phase, Khilli.
No, I still watch.
You agree to this movie with, like-
I go watch mainstream movies now
Yeah.
just for the fun of it.
You go around.
Yeah, that's what they're for.
Huh?
That's what they're for. Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's okay. But then like this one I didn't watch in theater or this is the first time I'm watching this film.
Yeah,
to be
Khilli was
honest,
not a
yeah.
big fan of this movie before even watching it. So that tells you something about him.
What do you think after watching it?
I mean, it's okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean, like
I wouldn't
I mean,
say-
if you the movies we watched before, like Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, and then what is this? Nadania, and then Happy New Year. I mean, this
Classic,
is
classic.
more better than them. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I thought it was mid. I'm with Nicky. Like, it should not have broken these box office records.
No, you
There's
shouldn't.
much better films. Like, he's been in better films.
Yeah. I agree with Adam and Nikki here. I feel like it was quite mid. Yeah, it's entertaining. It's highly forgettable if you ask me. But like,
yeah.
but you can kind of see the appeal of it. Like it has all that elements, action, drama, comedy. It
Yeah.
blends different genres really well into one movie. But it's nothing I'd ever watch again.
All right. Good. I don't know how we end this on this part.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the
What's this
episode. Let us know if you prefer this format. If you found this a bit
The
tighter.
train scene. That was the episode.
And the train scene.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah.
remembering it. The train
The DDLJ reference, right?
DDLJ.
Yeah, that was.
That was
really-
actually funny.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
liked
we
it.
talked about that.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Tune in next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.